So today, the second session is on how can we use generative AI tools for research. I'll be looking at the literature review side and planning the research, right? So remember, we are not here to promote any tools. We have our preferences, and we are not recommending you to purchase any tools. And also, we are not liable for any outcome of those tools. And we are using free versions of tools. That is not exactly correct. I'll be using SciSpace license version. Only SciSpace. All the other tools are free, right? So if you look at, I'll just brief the things. As you know, generative AI, I mean, the talk of the town now, right? Everyone is talking about generative AI tool. Generative AI, I feel it will be there for some time, and then people will forget, right? With other things. But today, whatever happens, we have generative AI tool. Now it has gone to the extent that where you can use multi-model generative AI tools, where you can work with text, images, videos, and other models, right? So these are the landscape of different tool sets. Where for text, these are the things you can do. For the code writing, right? You can do code writing. Last week, I was supervising some of the undergraduate students in a different university. Now, he gave me a nice way of using the tools. To write the thesis, he is using voice to text. He speaks, that will be written in a text. I said, fine. But our golden rule is that use any tool under the sun, but you are responsible. You are liable, not the tools. You are liable, right? So I don't know. I am not comfortable with that when using that type of. I mean, I don't know. And as we also discussed, we both were not confident about how you are going. I mean, that's personal thing. I can't do that. Simple as that. I can't use a tool when I am speaking. The text will be in the Word document will not be easy for me. That's my shortcomings, right? So you need to understand what is your area, right? Now, when it comes to research, you might want to use video. You are using a video researcher, Hassan? Yeah, okay. So you might be able to use those tools, right? Capture something, right? Something like that, right? So you can see these are the models that are available, and these are the things that you can do. I know we have RPA research. We have, but these are some research top of my head. Then image related research, where we convert images into text. So likewise, there are research and image related the research as well. So there are many research we can think about, right? Within your batch, we can identify what are the research that are falling into each area, right? So there is a very vast landscape of generative AI tools. Tools are available. These are the tools. I know you can't read this. I don't want you to read this as well. Just want to tell you there are many tools. There are many tools, right? Right. Now, very basic, right? This was just want to start the things. Now, remember, generative AI tools, the answer that you get may be different from someone else, right? So that is where you need the verification part. It's totally depend on your prompt. Totally depend on your prompt. Right? I saw in the Facebook or wherever I saw YouTube video. I saw when you give some prompts how the images are generated. Funny images. When you give the wrong prompt, right, with something keeping something in our head, right, we give the prompt and the image is totally different. Right? So image is totally different. Right? So that is what you expect. Totally depends on your prompt. Right? So don't expect everything. Ultimately, it's a machine which has better capabilities than before. Right? So therefore, whatever you input, it will give you the relevant output. Right? So that is where you have to be very proficient in prompting. Right? Now, I'll just play this video. I'm not sure whether share it. Make it? Make it? Yes. People who are online, let me know whether you can hear the...
Minister Jaishankar, thank you very much.
So you know who this person is, right? Nanan Jaishankar, Foreign Minister of India. Now, have you
day 2 of your trip?
Very famous discussion. Now look, now he's a professional in his area. But look at how the question is raised.
To the CEE. It's been quite a ride since February for not just the region, not just Europe, not just the West, but it is now trickling in terms of effect of what's happening between Russia and Ukraine into the rest of the world, the East, the global South. Paint us a little bit of a picture of India.
Still the question is coming, huh? Still the question is coming. So this is sort of the generative AI tool. This is you. See how you're asking the question.
And how India has been impacted. You've come out of COVID. You've had issues on the border with China. You've come out of the Quad with many, many diverse and divergent opinions, and an economy that is looking to make dramatic changes, but in very difficult and turbulent times. So if you can paint us a picture of where India is at right now, and then we will pick up the conversation from there.
Look at the question. She didn't ask what India is doing in Ukraine and between the Ukraine and Russian war. She said the background, right? Similar, so I'll skip that. I mean, I just want you to see how the questions are asked.
I think that brings up an interesting question that's come in from an online audience member, which is relevant to this, this point that you make about the rest of the world versus right here, right now in Europe or in the West. How interested are the Indian people in the war in Ukraine? Is it a major concern? Is it a minor concern? And you've kind of alluded to the fact that it's affecting fuel, it's affecting food, but how interested is the populace itself?
I think so. That is what your role is now. You have expertise, but you have to ask the question by telling the background. You have to tell the background to the tools, right? This is my research. You have to be explicit now. I am looking. I am a. Sometimes you can say I'm an undergraduate of doing these subjects. My research is this. I am doing this is a 1-year research. If you have to set that context. I am looking into these areas. That then only you can get a better answer, right? So your prompting cannot be a couple of words now. Depending on your prompt, you get a better answer. So prompting is very important, right? Prompting is very important. Right. So remember, prompting is not a straight line thing. As I said for that particular graph, it took me 30 minutes to get into that graph. Right. And actually, when I was doing that one, I did not record this. I did not record those things. But now I'll be for the next research, we are recording them. Right. So tell your experience as well. That's the whole idea, right? Right? So people come and tell their experience as well. That is what we are expecting, right? So when it comes to prompting, before you start prompting, define your objectives. This is what my goal is, right? Then break down the complex task. If you have a very the complex task, right? Break it down to minor tasks, and it has so vague because of this. Your question is vague. When your question is vague, obviously answers are vague, right? Answers are vague. Then illustrate your input. Now you understand, right? Meter lazy nikali, right? That is why that's what the message is. If you did not use proper prompts, right, you will be able to pass your whatever the research or whatever. But idea is get into this the prompts with this the cycle. Then iterate and validate. Very important. Doesn't matter whether you don't believe in these tools. It is a slave for you. When you have a slave, you have to control him or her, right? That's how you work with slaves. This is also the same thing. Throughout this process, validation is important. When you are using generative AI tools, validation is the keyword, right? Don't just get the prompt output and paste it somewhere else. You have to validate. Right? We will tell you how we have placed some ethical considerations, ethical the process that we have taken when it comes to literature, right?
Let me add something there.
Yes.
Okay, now we are taking Gen AI as servants, and we are trying to get the work done from Gen AI. For that, we should be able to check the quality of their work. I can remember this thing. My father used to tell it every time. Even if you are going to get a work done from a servant, you should be able to check the quality of that work. For that, you should have done that work before. So you should have the knowledge to check the quality of their work. Otherwise, you will be accepting whatever they provide. Right? So let's say I'm going to get a work done from Miss Nirasha, and let's say she doesn't know how. I'm not familiar. I do not know how to get that work done. Then whatever the thing she will do, I have to accept that. So we have seen many students are accepting whatever giving from the Gen AI without checking the quality, right? And this is a very big concern we had about like recommending undergraduates to use Gen AI. Earlier, I was against that because you haven't read many research papers. I mean, if you for postgraduate students, I didn't have any objections about giving this Gen AI platforms to do their research. But for the undergraduates, this is the first time they are coming to the research, and the research is new to that. So with that, a lot of students tend to misuse it. Right? With that, I had an objection regarding that. But with that workshop, my mindset changed because we learned there are some smart students who will be doing an exceptional job in their research when they are using Gen AI. On the other hand, the students who are not putting much effort, I don't want to say the word, what they are going to become. Right? So it is up to you whether you want to upgrade yourself or downgrade yourself with Gen AI. Definitely take this opportunity to upgrade yourself rather than accepting whatever it gives. Please verify those whatever they give, and then with your knowledge and with Gen AI's knowledge, you will be able to come up with a better product in your thesis and in your publications, and even in your thinking, because you are getting different perspectives or different ideas from Gen AI. You can go to a big scope with that and use it wisely.
Yeah, and some of your question papers you received this year, both question papers, questions were from generative AI. Right? But it took me a long time to prepare that paper. It's not a one simple work. Right? So I took prompting months. So I have to tell now, if you look at that particular question, I told it's a 3-hour paper, 2-hour paper. This is the syllabus. I want a question in this. This should be a case study. So I have to prompt a very large prompt. Right? So don't think that even though it is came from generative AI, it's a easy work. It's easy now. Then I get the question, then I have to refine the question back. Right? So it's a iterative work. Right? So when I see the question, right, I realize, okay, I should have added this part to the curriculum as well, which I'm going to add to the next day. So it's like the Thilanim said, that's how we improve. That's how we improve. Right? So you can use these tools to improve your knowledge as well, rather than just a consumer. Right? So the checklist, once you write the prompt, the content and context, whether you have defined it, whether it's understandable. Because remember, we write the prompt thinking that it will understand everything, but it doesn't know the context. It doesn't know the context. You are doing a research. Similarly, some PhD student doing a research. Different thing. You have to tell that to the prompt. Or let's say a small kid doing a research. Kid in the sense of A-level the student. So you have to tell the background. This is my area. This is my syllabus. This is my target. Right? Then only it can give you a better result. But then also you have to revert back. This is not what I was expecting. Can you explain on this part? So it's a like what we saw for Dr. Jayashankar, right? That's how you should ask the question. Then ethical and legal things, right? Now there was a very famous quote in US: "Guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people." Now during that slide presentation, I want to make that in a slide. So I want to generate a picture. No tools allowed me to generate a picture because of the word guns. That's ethically wrong word. Right? So ethical considerations are there in tools, but still remember, tools may not understand the local ethics. Right? Tool doesn't understand you are doing it to cheat for your exam. Right? So therefore, that is up to you to use. Use it ethically. Then, right, validation is the key word. During the slide presentation, Amila sir watched the presentation later, and then he told me I was using too much the term validation. I told him that is how it is. That is how it is. Right? So validation is very important. Review from someone else. Right? When you are doing your research, obviously supervisor will review your work. If not, ask some of your, I know people are busy with many other works, but ask someone else to review their work as well. Right? Then, okay, the golden rule, I cannot validate. Own this as a researcher, author. Ownership, you should own the worker, and you are a scholar. So accountability is with you. Now, if someone come and ask any questions about the paper which we published last Sunday, we can answer. Very confidently, I am saying I can answer. Why? We own the paper. And we take the accountability of our findings. We use tools. That's a different thing. Right? That is the confidence level you should have once you complete the research, even after using generative AI tools, Gen AI tools. Right? It is so. Remember, if you are using generative AI tools to get rid of the research, that is not the idea here. Idea is upgrade your research skills and upgrade your research output as well. Right? So So that the tools can be helpful for you to complete your work effectively and efficiently with higher quality. That's the whole idea, right? This most of the slides are from the the workshop that we got, right? Except for few things. Video එක එහෙම අපි දාපු එකක්. These are මෙතන තිල්ලිම් ස්කීම් slide එකක්. Likewise. So these are from that workshop and including this. Right. So let's say I want to do some prompting. Now that is how you should not write a prompt. Write something about economy. Right. So this is how it should be. The good prompt is this. Right. Generate a comprehensive analysis of impact of digital currencies on traditional banking system with South Asia since 2018. You see how the focus it is. Focusing on consumer behavior, regulatory responses, and implementation of financial stability. Now, if you get these two questions, you can obviously see the first question is from a professional. That means what? Any dummy can't ask a question. You need to understand the subject to ask the question. Right? So when we go back to that paper, right? I have been teaching the data warehousing for nearly 15 years. Right? So I know what type of question I should ask. Right? So remember, these tools are not for dummies. These tools are for expertise, like this. Right? So when you ask a question on economy, you can clearly see the difference. Right? You can clearly see the difference. If you ask a question like that, obviously you will get vague answers. Right? Bad prompt. What is the new in education? So now you give some idea. Right? You give some develop a structure review of a literature on the effectiveness of a blended learning models in higher education for prompting student engagement and academic achievements, including the assessment of comparative studies from the last decade. This answer cannot be vague. The answer for this one cannot be vague. Why? Your prompt is direct. Right? Now remember, I don't know how many of you participated for the design pattern subject. How many of you were there, Nanny? Design pattern. Similarly, now you have prompt design patterns as right. So there was a Coursera course. I subscribed to the course. The financial aid free commerce subscribe course. That's how you should do these things, right? So from there I got this the list, right? So these are the prompt patterns, right? There are many patterns, right? There are many patterns. I'm not going to explain each and everything. I'll go with this one. This is a very interesting one. Persona, right? Now, persona pattern is you are giving the personal background of yourself. Now, when I want to create questions for you, right, for a question paper, I gave the person. I am a lecturer in this particular subject, right? I want to give a question on 2 hour basis on this particular area. So persona pattern, right? The recipe pattern. Now, recipe is what? Recipe. Recipe. You want output, but you don't know the steps. Recipe. So recipe means you ask, okay, I want to achieve this. Give me the process. I want to achieve this keyword. This can be one paragraph. I want to do a research on this area, covering these areas, right? What are the research methodology? That's a recipe design, recipe prompt pattern. Right. So likewise, so I have given the what do you call the? We will share the slides. Right, we will share the slides. The link as well for this paper. There is a paper on the prompt design patterns. So I have shared that link as well, right? Right. Again, you people help to develop this. So this again we learn from you during the Viva discussion. During the Viva, okay, Numaya better than I don't know whether she is there. So she came up with some research. I can't remember exactly. Can you remember research? Okay. Yeah. So she came up with some tools. On that day, I decided, okay, are these the only tools? So then I went and verified. Then there are many tools. Then I did the comparison. So then I send it to a research group of people for the students who I am supervising. Then people came and said, "Nana, make a varadi," right? So then I published this into the. We have with the University of Peradeniya, we have another AI group. I published it there as well. So there also people came and said, "This is not correct. This is wrong." So I updated that as well. Now these are the literature review tools you have, right? Now size space, pretty much sure everyone has used this. I have used only few Elicit, Research Rabbit. One more thing, Corpus AI, right? Anyone else who have used other tools? Anyone else? I know some people are using Connect Papers or something. Someone told me Connected Papers, right? Now look at the features. Look at the features. AI powered search, summary generation, right? Summary generation, key points extraction. So this means Copilot AI assistant. Now remember one thing, I generated this also from generative AI. මේකත් generative AI. හැබැයි මේකට මට දවස් දෙකක් ගියා. Not a one single prompt. After your proposal presentation, I took 2 days to generate this graph. If I did not have the generative AI tools, I couldn't do that, first and foremost. Forget about doing this. Because of the fact that we had these tools, even after spending 2 days, I was able to generate this. Sorry, advantage. It took 2 days. Sorry, that's how it is, right? But without these tools, you can't do this. Forget about 2 days, right? Now I listed out, right? Actually, make a prompt එකක් නෑ මං ගාවේ. මේව කවදාවත් එහෙම මේ ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන්න වෙයි කියලා හිතලා කරපුවා නෙමෙයි. ඇක්සිඩන්ට් කරපු අර රිසර්ච් එක දැක්කා. එදා පැනල් එකේදී පැනල් ඩිස්කෂන් එකේදී අපි කතා වුණා මේට තව ටූල්ස් ඇති කියලා. අපි යාගෙන්ම යහුවේනේ. අපි යාගෙන්ම යහුවා පුළුවන් නම් ටූල්ස් එක එවන්න කියලා අපිට එව්වා ටූල්ස් එක. This is the collaboration, right? This is the collaboration, right? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න තුනට මං කියන්නේ ඒකයි. ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ data use වෙනවා. හරි? So then you can see the differences. Hurry. Now I have shared this in many places. This is in the LinkedIn, in many places I have shared this. Right? Even for the Peradeniya AI group also I have shared this. That's what the learning is. Learning is Budal neme learning kiyane. Maranakan tiyangina neme learning kiyane. You share it. You share it. Someone else can be. You don't. I don't expect credit for this. You gave me the day. I mean, you are the one who initiated the idea. I spent 2 days, but then I have this diagram. But remember, generated from Gemini Advanced on this date. Why this is important? These are evolving areas. You never know the current status. You never know the current status. Right? Right. Let's begin here. Right? Right. Now, let's do this from a workshop, right? You're not make a banak right? You came here to practice. Now we use a nice title. අර ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැච් එක පොඩක් මට පොඩක් ස්පෙෂල් මේ ගොඩක් දේවල් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තමයි මම කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේක ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක තමයි මම ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ස්ටාර්ට් කරේ මේ මොකද්ද software development project හරි මම දන්නවා ඒ කාලේ මට බයින් නැති ඒ කාලේ මේ now the 2 years back නේ now after now we have done this for 2 batches your junior batch now we are thinking can we do a research with this right can we do a research with this why we had a software development project why sure huh? Huh? Last part? Huh? Bukan? Madahun nanti bukan? Marks? Ah, yes, marks. 6 credit. Ne 6 credit. Can't help ne. अरे हंतान रिप्लाई ताउडिंग गेम कैंसिल करके ने right මේ තිසර ඉන්නවා මම හිතන්නේ තිසර ඔන්ලයින් ඉන්නවා තිසර ඉන්නවා තිසරින් තමයි මම මේ ට්‍රිප් එක තාපොඩින් තිසරින් තමයි ට්‍රිප් එක යන්න හම්බුනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මට නෙමෙයි තෑන්ක්ස් කරනවා තිසරට ඇත්තට තිසර තමයි මට අන්තිම මොහොතේ කිව්වේ මේ මොකද්ද මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක හින්දා හන්තාන යන්න නැතුව ඉන්නවා කියලා ඔව් ඒ වඳුරු තියරි එක මම කලින් කියපුවානේ මට අශෙන් තමයි ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වේ මේ වඳුරු තියරිය හින්දා තමයි මේ ඒක කැන්සල් කරලා එන්න හැදුවේ කියලා right so now we thought of doing a research why we selected this topic you know about the breadth and depth of this research right okay now idea is if you look at the learning outcomes of the software development project to enhance software skills software engineering skills actually I will change this I can't change I'll change that later right idea is to develop software engineering skills of undergraduate from using a software development project then make them a research you know you have practical experience that's why we selected this you have practical experience on this as you are expert on this right so actually we are trying to do a research in this year we are planning with the all staff members will contribute to this research හරි මම කිව්ව කලින් කිව්වේ එක ගලෙන් කුරුළු 3-4ට ගහන දැන් කාලේ වෙලා නැහැ කරන්න රිසර්ච් එකක් මේව කරන ගමන් රිසර්ච් එක ලියා ගන්න that's how people are doing this right I mean then we can look at from the research perspective right how do we start I'm asking from you how do we start people who are online hope you can contribute as well man disable kare nahi huh okay people who are online now how do we start this is the research we have how software engineering skills of undergraduate can be enhanced by the 1 year individual software development project let them speak what do you think development අපි ඔක්කොම කරනනේ කනේ කරාද මන් දන්නේ idea is requirement gathering testing නේ project planning project management everything is your software engineering අමාරු කියලා තමයි software development part එකනේ hospital admit වෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම ඒ කැලලට ආවා මේ but let's look at the software engineering side design එකක් තියෙනවා now how do you start this now you are into halfway of your research almost now if you look at this as a research how do you look at this research you can use tools now that's fine we are here to use tools don't buy a tool use scratch right so any idea people who are online how can we start on this
so first we need to identify what software engineering skills are
Sorry, Naeem, I can't hear you.
Am I
Come again?
First, we need to identify what the software engineering skills are.
Okay. One thing is, so he's saying what? Okay, let's write it here. I'm not using the board. I can't use the board. People are online. No point of dragging this here, right? So okay, let's say what are the what are the software engineering skills? Sorry, right? Now this is something right now. Last week I was talking to Professor Asoka on this generative AI tools. He is not against or whatever. He is saying මම කියපු විදිහම කියන්න දැන් දිනේෂ්ට ස්පෙලිං හරියට ලියන්න පුළුවන් මට නම් බෑ දැක්කන් ඇයි බැරි මම අහනවා ඇයි ආර ඉංග්‍රීසි කියන්න බැරි වර්ඩ් නේද ඔයාගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ස්පෙලිං නැති කරේ ඇත්ත නේද කතා because of the tools we have some skills have gone down. He is saying it can happen to the research skills as well. Yeah, idea make you right. It can happen in that way as well, right? Okay, what are software engineering in him? What are software engineering areas then?
Skills.
Huh? Skills. Right. What else? You can oppose to this idea as well. That's fine, right? Now we are just targeting this research. Tell me how can we use this in a using generative AI tools? How can we utilize this? Or how can we plan a better research? Now you have done this, that's why we selected. It's not an alien project, alien research for you, right? First and foremost, do you see a research here? Make research up here. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද අපි හොයන්න ඕන මුලින්ම? Impact of project to improve the SC skills. SC skills of undergraduates. Correct? Or we can be very, we did it for uni, we can say science undergraduate in Sri Lanka. That's how you improve this in Sri Lanka. Right? Impact of software project, you can enhance this as well. 1 year individual. So now you can see you have improved this, right? Then before using generative AI tools, right? Now, as I said, I favored Gemini. Right? So I can do this. Impact of impact of software project to improve software skills of science undergraduate. Right. What's that? Right. Then mama, how can I ask this question from them? What is your prompt? People who are online, you also can disconnect kunada. Anand. What is your question? මේකත් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඕන. Didn't give anything. එතකොට අර ඔයගොල්ලෝ wake කියලා කියන්නේ උතෝ හම්බුණා. What should be your question? You have to tell with the background. I am an undergraduate student in Sri Lankan State University. Sometimes it might help, it might not help. Doesn't matter. Right? State University, and I wish to perform a 1-year research, 1-year final year research on following topic. දැන් රිසර්ච් එකක් කරන්න මොකක්ද ඕනේ මේ මම තමයි මේක දැන් තේරෙනවා දැන් your normal skills are important. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම රිසර්ච් එකක් දාන්න නැද්ද කියලා හොයාගන්නේ කොහොමද? You want to find the research gap නේ. Research questions එක හොයාගන්න ඕනේ. Right. අපි එහෙම අහමු. 1-year final research on what are the research questions? I haven't tried this out. I have read this some papers, but I haven't tried this the questions, right? So I'm trying it with you. I want that experience also. Without trying this first, what should I? How can I conduct this? What are the research questions for the topic? So this is my prompt. What do you think? After seeing this, what do you think? So research questions are there. To what extent does 1-year individual software enhance the software engineering skills of science undergraduates in Sri Lanka? Skill specific impact. What specific software skills? But I'm missing that. Anything missing? That's where the verification is important. Don't accept what it says. Okay, this is good. This is good. But are there anything missing? That is where your expertise are important. I think the what do you call skills are soft skills are missing here. Not that. You can ask. Can we have a question on soft skills, improvement of soft skills? Improvement of soft skills. Now see, that was missing, right? It was missing before. Right? Now here also, all the accept all the software engineering skills areas covered. Have everything covered here. Nothing. What is missing? What is missing? Huh? Exactly. Requirement illustration is missing. That is where your expertise are needed. Don't accept what it says. It is a help. Definitely, it will help you. Right? But just see, you can't be a dummy to use these tools. Right? So you have to say, in the skills specific impact, Can you include requirement spelling නම් හරියට ඕනේ හොඳ වෙලාවට requirement elicitation skills as well. Now it is included, right? That is where now it took us 5 minutes to come to this. Still it's not completed, right? So research questions, to get into the research questions, right, you need some time. So then you can ask, okay, can you list 3 research questions considering? If you know better option than this, let me know. Sometimes right? Then just tell me, right? Can you list 3 research questions considering all the skills, soft skills? So this is the planning of the research. So that is covered. So all are covered now. So your research question part is okay. I believe, right? I'm not going through this one specifically, right? It seems to be okay. Now you are starting the research, right? Questions, and let's not go into details of this. You have to refine this. It might take another half an hour, but let's stick to these research questions. Then what you want to do? Objectives, right? Can you only right? Can you may come up with research objectives for the above research questions? So you have the objectives as well. Again, you have to verify this, right? You have to verify this whether it is matching, right? Consider time. I will go on. Then next important thing is literature review, right? There are research gap and then there, but let's stick to the literature review, which is our primary focus today, right? Literature review. How you do the literature review now? Can අතරම කරන දේ කියන්නකෝ මම කියන්නේ කාටද? හරි? How you do the literature review? How you do literature review now? Systematic or whatever, how you do this? Already done, you should. You have another 5 weeks or whatever. 4 weeks. 4 weeks. That is, yeah. Considering the vacation, including the vacation, you have more than that. But as far as I know, some of you have completed your review as well. Some people, how many of you have written literature review paper? How many? People who are online, how many of you have written the review paper? Batch done. Santoshi has written. Let me. Only 2. Should be more than this. Right, okay. Right. So, right. Santoshi, Netmi and Taruka. What was your approach for the literature? Literature review name. Retrieve the literature papers. What was your approach?
Using keywords.
Anita, sorry මට පැටලුණා. අර තාරුක වහලේ නෙවෙයි ඉන්නේ නේ.
නෑ සර්.
හරි ඕකේ. ඒක වෙන කතාවක්. right. Using keywords. Using keywords. Is it Taruka?
Yes sir.
Just the keywords. It's okay. Now let's look at your okay. Right. Up make them for this particular research. What are the keywords? Come up with the keywords. Software development project. Okay. What else? A approach. You have to first identify the areas for you to research. ඔගොල්ලෝ ඔය keyword එක ගන්නේ, right? අර you have that nice three මොනවද කියන්නේ? Venn diagrams තියෙනනේ. Ideally Venn diagrams are that. Identify the areas. හරි දැන් නම් කරන්නේ මොකක් හරි බෝල් තුනක් අදිනවා මොනවා හරි තුනක් keywords තුනක් ගහනවා එනවනේ. Right? Idea is that identify your areas for this research. For each area you can have keywords. හරි. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන වැඩේ වැරදි කියලා මම කියන්නේ ඒකයි. So what will happen is when you use keywords you are focusing only on your research only. හරිද? දැන් අපි research එකක් බලන්නේ not only we are looking at other areas as well. Now for example you are doing time series something for your research. Now when you are doing time series research there can be other ways to to solve that problem as well. What is the research is the time series on performance predictions. So using time, how to predict I can't exactly remember the title. So the summit title is performance prediction in a garment. In a garment, how to use time series to predict the performance in a garment. Now, if you use keywords, what are the keywords there? Time series, performance management, garments. But what about the other techniques? There can be other techniques as well. If we are proposing time series, we have to say these are the other areas, but we provide. Sorry. These are the other areas. Right? Now, you want to go to goal. But you have to check all the paths. Then you choose the best path. Your literature review is that. You look at all the options. Then you are saying, okay, these are the issues in this area. I am using time series. Now, that to happen, you need to understand all the other areas. Right? If you look at this particular topic, what are the areas that we need to cover?
So in that specific research topic, if you are going to use time series, you can tell why you are specifically considering time series for your study by comparing the researchers, the other researchers which have predicted the performance. And what are the other methods used in different papers, and why time series? Why you are thinking time series is going to work for your research? You can show the significance of choosing your method there as well through the literature.
Now, that to do that, you need to tell, okay, this was done from regression analysis or similar descriptive analytics, right? But these are the issues. Now that to do that one, you need to understand all the other areas. So if you search only for your keywords, you will definitely you will not be looking at other areas, right? And most likely you will not get a paper. For example, let's say you got the paper for that particular keywords. Why you want to do a research? Already there. Already there. If the research is available for your keywords, research is what? Research is what? Yeah, you're solving someone's problem which was not done before. Ne? Mara, කලුත් කියලා තියෙනවා තිල්ල offend වෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. What's the difference between search and research? මේක මේ කාන්තා පාර්ශවයේ වැඩි ඒකින්ද කියන්න කමක් නැහැ කියන්න. හා? නෑ නෑ ඕනේ. එච්චර මේ එච්චර අවුල් එකක් නෙමෙයි. සර්ච් එකක් කියන්නේ හරියට පිරිමි කෙනෙක් ඇඳුමක් තෝරනවා වගේ. රිසර්ච් එකක් කියන්නේ ගෑනු කෙනෙක් ඇඳුමක් තෝරනවා. හරිද? දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි ඇඳුම් තෝර that's how it is. Like nothing to be offended or whatever. That's how it is. That is why they are female. That is why we are males. Right? It should be there, right? මේ ඉතින් ඒක දැනගෙන මේ යැල්ලම ආශ්‍රය කරන්න. හරි? කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. That's how it is. දැන් දැන් අපි ඇඳුමක් ගන්නකොට එහෙමනේ. We have idea නේ. We go and buy it. That's how you do a search. You know what to search. Research එක එහෙම නෙමෙයි. නේද? අන්තිල්ලකින් අහන්න කොහොමද ඇඳුමක් තෝරන්නේ කියන්නේ? හා? ටක් ගාලා ගියා ගත්තාවත්? නෑ නේ අන්න එක තමයි. Thank you. හා කොහොමද ගන්නේ? මොනවද තෝරන parameters? මොනවද select කරන parameters? හා? color, design, ගාන කියුණත් කමක් නෑ ඔය එක හරි. ඔච්චර විතරක් නෙමෙයි නේද? යාළුවගේ ඇඳුමේ පාට. nice. අල්ලපු ගෙදර එක්කෙනා ඇඳුම් පාට. That's correct, right? That's how you do a research. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ ගෑන් ළමයි රිසර්ච් කරන්නේ තර පිරිමි ළමයි ඇඳුම් තෝරන විදියට. Right? So you need to look at all the options. දැන් සමහරවිට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගන්න ගිය එක නෙමෙයි දරන් එන්නේ. මං හරිනේ. ඒක තමයි. හරි? That's how the objectives are. You set the objectives. You want to buy a frock. That's it. You don't say this color, that color, and this. You go and do the research. Ultimately, නේද? වෙන මොකක්ද කරන් එනවා. That's the research outcome. So you need to look at all the options. අර ලිටරචර් රිවිව් කියන්නේ අරක තමයි. යාළුවගේ ඇඳුම, අල්ලපු ගෙදර එක්කෙනාගේ ඇඳුම, නංගිගේ ඇඳුම, අක්කගේ ඇඳුම. ඒ ලිටරචර් රිවිව් එක. If you use only keywords, it will become a search, not a research. So before doing the research, you need to understand the areas. Right. The mom can තාම අපි generative AI use කරේ නැහැ. But we can use generative AI tools to understand what the literature review areas. Can you list the literature review areas for the above research? Now what we are doing, we are looking at education side, right? So we need to look at software engineering education aspect as, right? Software skill development in undergrad, that's what we are doing. So it's nothing about software development, skill development in undergraduates, right? Project-based learning and in science disciplines. Nothing to do with software. All the project-based learning. What about this one? We said individual. Now that doesn't say we have to look at groups as well. නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ලොකු කන්සර්න් එකක් තිබ්බනේ සිස්ටම් ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක ගෲප් එකක් කරන්න කියලා නේ. එහෙම කමෙන්ට්ස් තිබුණා මම දන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම තිබුණා. හරි. So why we need to do with a group? දැන් අපි කියනවා රිසර්ච් එකේ it's for individual කියනවා නම් අපි කියන්න ඕන why it is not doing well with groups. හරි? An important thing, how are we going to assess this? We give you a project, but how can we assess that? If we are saying we want to improve the skills of undergraduates using software development project, we have to tell what is the assessment criteria. That will come in different projects, different research. Now see the areas that you need to look at. Again, there can be missing areas as well, right? Then that kind of thing. So now, again, this is how we use tools efficiently. But we have spent more than almost 2 hours, right? Now, let's go ahead.
So we used to like check papers using Google Scholar or any other platforms. We are just searching, right? And to my understanding, they will list the research papers if the keyword is included in the title,
Yes.
right? So with that, we may miss a lot of studies where
In the keywords.
in the keywords. So when we search when we search through in Google Scholar, they will list down the papers if those keywords are available in the title or under the keywords. But with that, we may miss a lot of researches which are related to our study, as those either those keywords are not listed in their research or they haven't used that keyword in the specific title. So if you are using these research areas to do your search, you will be able to get them as well, rather than limiting the studies you can use for literature review.
Right. Anything missing here? Anything missing here? Now, you are the first-hand. You have first-hand experience in this one. You can tell us, right? Right. So you can see the rubric and evaluation. ඔය ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ software development project එකට හදපු rubrics ඔක්කොම මම හැදුවේ මේ generative AI use කරලා. හරි? those ඔව් බලන්න මම මට ඉගෙන ගන්න එක ඇත්තටම කරේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මට අදාළ නැහැ. අදහන්න නැතියි හෙටයි හෙටහන්න නැතියි අනිත් 10යි කියලා මම ඔක් කියනවා. හරි මේ rubric එක මම හැදුවේ මට ඉගෙන ගන්න. Right? How can we ඒකත් මම කියවනේ මම කලින් කියලා ඇති. It took me a lot of time to generate the rubric. Those days I am learning the tools, right? So I use those tools. දැන් මගේ හැබැයි අහලා එවනකොට මේ marking scheme එක මොකක්ද කියලා මම යවන්නේ අර rubric එක තමයි යවන්නේ. කියව ගන්න. Right? So this also we developed from the generative AI tool. For the research which we completed, we generate the questionnaire and the rubric. Paper rubric also from the tool. Now the questionnaire for this one we generated from the Gen AI tool. But then again we corrected that, right? අපි ඊයේ මේක වෙනස් කරා by reading some other papers, right? On this particular workshop that we are doing, we read some other papers how they have done this. We use generative AI tools to identify the paper. Paper දැන් නැනේ. ඊයේ paper එක තිබුණා මම හිතන්නේ ඒක. Fine only. Right? History again. I might close कराइए. Come up, right? So okay, right. So then we can use. So then now is our time to look at for research papers, right? Fine. You can see now in this one, in this literature, it doesn't say one thing missing here. It doesn't say how other universities have used this project. Make it given that how other universities have used software development projects to improve software skills. Okay. Short courses. Yeah. Yes. Internship is also a good thing, right? Internship also a good thing. So that is how this is. Isn't this? This is covering that software engineering education को हमें cover नहीं. නෑ මම සර්ච් කරපු criteria මම මේ questions එක මම searching ටික කරා කලින් කරන්න පොඩක් බලන්න කරා මේ මොකද මේ papers පොඩක් මෙයා කරගන්න වෙලා යන හින්දා so these are the papers I came up with. I'll give you a brief introduction to Sotero as well. So these are the some papers I got 20 something. Now here, right? So these are the questions that I asked, right? These are the questions that I asked. I simply include the first title to see how other countries have used this method. Directly this one, how they have used. So now my research is on Sri Lanka. So that's my research area. Research gap is that other countries have used this, but we haven't done that research in for Sri Lanka, right? So then, so let's say, okay, let me. So this is my prompt for. So I was using size space. I have a license version. මට මේ size space use කරලා discount එකක් හම්බුනා. හරි. Major ලොකු discount එකක් හම්බුනා. So I have 1 year. ඔය අපි use කරාම වෙන benefits. මම use කරලා කාලයක් නවත්තලා තිබ්බම මට කතා කරලා discount එකක්. ලොකු discount එකක්. Right? මේ ඊට පස්සේ I use elicit as well. ඊට පස්සේ මම elicit use නැවතුනම මේගොල්ලෝ මට කතා කරලා මාස 3ක් free දුන්නා. See the competition. Right? See the competition. So but I felt size space is much helpful. Right? So this is the question, right? Then method keywords ගහුවොත් වෙන්නේ you will get the limited keywords, right? You do a prompting here. You do a prompting here, right? So I have a prompt here. Right. Now, because of the fact that I have a licensed version, I'm sharing it. I have disabled this one, so I don't see. Right. So because of the fact that I have the licensed version, I get 10 papers, but you will get only 5 papers. Right. This is the summary, but I don't rely on this summary for writing. Why? Now I have seen one thing is you can see the citations, right? These citations in couple of instances I have noticed the citations can be mixed up. One keyword one එක නෙමෙයි තියෙන වෙන එකක් තියෙනවා. Right? So right, you have to understand the inefficiency of tools as well. Right. So now let's say I go through this. Now you can see the paper, right? Now we have a policy. We don't include any of the papers to our research if we can't read the paper. If we can't read the paper, it is unethical to include that because we are not sure about this outcome. Right? Now what we do is, right? So look, you can see that paper title and it will give you some insights. What the method it has used. Now you can see the authors have conducted survey with 11 students from software engineering program to evaluate educational outcomes related to user involvement and interaction. This stands for too long, difficult to read. TLD, too long, difficult to read. Something, oh, yes. Too long, difficult to read. So it is a summarized version. And then I normally go to the objectives. What the objectives of this paper, right? Now this has a feature where you can directly ask questions on this paper, right? What is the country this research was used? In which country, whatever, right? So I can ask questions as well, right? No, it doesn't give me the country. Brazil. right? So I have a context here, right? So then what I do is, I'll, as I said, I'll be giving you some insight to Sotero as well. I'll create a collection, software development project, right? Now then, okay, I have to add this paper. That's why so Sotero is a reference management tool. So what else I have to? You have to install this as a local tool, and then you have to create a connection, right? I'll explain this while I'm doing, right? So then I have to add the collections to this, add papers to this collection. Now these are the other papers that I have done. So these two are from this is the I took some data from this is Dinuki's one, this is the Sandushi's research. I use them for, I'll explain why I use their data set for different purpose. I posted a LinkedIn post as well on that work, right? So RBL, who is the name? This one. Requirement elicitation in big data analysis. This was the research papers that we use, right? Now for this one, right? So how do you import that paper? Now, right? So this is DOI stand for some, right? Some unique one. So that gives you the digital object identifier. It's unique for every document. So I can get this DOI. I can get this DOI, copy it, and from here I can paste it. Then I get the all the metadata of that particular research paper to here. Done. You don't have to write all this. Now this is where you can improve. This is otherwise the laborious work. Right? You look at the title, you look at the author, look at the year, look at the conference, look at the journal. Right? This is where you can improve. Now you should focus more on your research rather than this labor work. That's the whole idea. Get rid of the labor work now. Focus more on your research. Right? Now, here we have another advantage. I can download this paper. Unfortunately, University of California, we don't have access to these papers, but so I will download this paper. I will save it. Right. So ideally what I do is, this is how you, then I add this paper to the Sotero. Now that is included here, right? Then I can open it here and I can make all my highlights, everything can be done here, right? So this is not generative, this is how to use Sotero, right? So normally after getting the comments, I go through this and verify them. Validate, right? Keyword, right? So then, right. So then you can use Sotero. Now the referencing. Now this is add-in I know some of you have used Zotero, so this is not a new thing for them. So you can, there is a add-in to Word in the Zotero. Now you can include your citations here, right? So you can include your citations. Now this will link to the Zotero, and then you can include the citation, right? Right. So I don't know, right? So this is your citation, right? That's how you work efficiently. Earlier, as I said before, I was using Word as my reference management. Then I realized size space, generative AI, those things can be, I mean, we can use them for the, Zotero can be used for those tools. Then as I said, overnight I shifted to Zotero, right? So you can see during last 6 months, right? This many researchers we have done in this, not completed, we are doing, right? Why? Using the tools. Advantage is that, right? My, what you call, mantra is use the tools to better, to improve your work, not to do the entire work. Human inputs are still needed, right? Right. So likewise, I collected these papers. Right. Shall we do a small exercise? Can you go to size space and, okay, before that, one more thing. Now, yeah, I'll complete this part and then have a break. Then I want to say something. Okay, some instances are there where you don't see a DOI. Sometimes, very rarely. Okay, this one, it's there. Okay, this one you don't have a DOI, right? Now what? Right? You don't have, some journals are there where you don't have a DOI. Then what do you do? Type the entire thing. Copy paste, copy, paste into Gemini, generate bib text. This is bib text. That is bibliography text for the following research. I can't generate. Sometimes it's because of the text. Let me try it again. Right. It can't because of how it generated. Sorry. It has generated, right? Now it has a DOI as well, but for size space did not pick that. So this is how I import now. Copy this, go to Zotero, there is option, sorry, this is my set. Go here, file, import from keyboard to clipboard. It came. Reference management, that's how you can use generative AI tools to get the references. Actually, until last week, these are what I said, I am learning. Until last week, I did not know there is a DOI option. As I said, I was doing this for some other students. One student said that, oh, DOI, right? Until such time, until that time, I was all these papers. These these were actually for each paper I generate the bib text, right? If you go to some journals, they have this bib text. If you go here the bib text is available, right? You can simply copy, but there are some journals, some articles where the DOI is not there, as well as the bib text is also not there. So then you have to generate, right? You have to generate. So that is what it is. Something else, right? So actually, right? So now these two, this is from Dinuki's research and this is from Sandusi's research. This is something I was doing something else, right? I'll explain that after the break. Now, what I did was I asked them to I get these are their review papers, right? I got their review papers and copy all their references. I pasted into the Gemini, and asked to generate the bib text. It generates the bib text when I import all things to here, right? That's one way of importing it. Another, there is an option, but that is only works for license version only. You can get the bib text from the slice space as well, right? But this is something I'm not recommending. Why? Whenever you are referencing any research paper, you have to read the paper rather than simply referencing that. It's not ethical. When you are referring any research paper, you have to read it. So what this does is it will simply download all the bib text for the available research, right? Which you should not do, right? You have to, I mean, whatever said, you have to own the paper. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We are not the paper that we publish. All the papers that are listed here, right? I went through. May not be the entire thing, but at least conclusion, methodology, I went. Okay, right. So let's have a break. But I can answer any questions if you have. If you have any, I need to complete one more part, then I'm done. Shall I complete that and hand it over to you? Yeah, sure, but then we need to. You have time also, ne? Sure. Then we'll take a break. Till we want to do it on a different day. What does it mean? ඒකත් අපි කියලා නැත්නම් බොරු කියන්න ඕනේ නැහැනේ. මේක ඇත්තටම අපි දෙනකෙත් පොඩි වැඩක් තියෙනවා මේ අර ට්‍රේනින් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ අපි වර්ක්ෂොප් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. හරි. මේ බොරු කියන්න ඕනේ නැහැනේ. මේ ඇත්තම එහෙම හේකුත් තියෙනවා. But our deadline was extended. Ne? Yeah, earlier deadline was to before August 1st, but it is extended. So till Miss she has time. Sure, sure. But so we have time now. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so let's take a break for 15 minutes. Then come, and if you have any questions, please bring in, right? We wish to answer. As I said, we are learning. We would like to hear from you. I'm pretty much sure you have used this tool better than us. That's fine. I mean, that's totally fine. So therefore, we would like to hear from you. That's one of our targets as well, right? Learn from you. Okay, so let's have a break. 11:30, 11:25. Let's meet at Okay, okay. අපි ප්‍රශ්න ඉන්නවනේ ප්‍රශ්න හිටියද?
No.
Today we will be focusing on the this research literature review part, finding the research papers part, and we will be doing the extended abstract writing session on another day. So I would appreciate if you can suggest a date and a time. If
Since,
it,
since you have time,
yeah,
can we do this after the vacation so
yeah,
that we
that
have?
is also fine. Yeah,
ආපස්සෙද?
පුළුවන් සර්.
I don't mind doing it once you are back to university, so that we can do a physical session, and we can, I mean, if you want, we can do a hands-on one, so that we will be writing, and you'll be taking time to write.
නැත්නම් මේගොල්ලෝ කියයි මේගොල්ලෝ වැඩේට අපේ නිවාඩු කනවා කියලා.
එහෙනම් ෆස්ට් වීක් එකේ කරමු මේ පටන් ගත්තා.
Pasandu, I don't hear you. Sabina, Pasandu.
Oh, first week කරමු.
All right, okay, good. Yeah.
Okay then let's have it.
And especially, I do not want to so we thought of doing a session on abstract writing. If you wish to do another sort of, if you have any other sessions on having a writing session, let us know so that I can get prepared for that.
If we have time, why abstract? We can go to the paper.
Yeah.
Now earlier we were planned with 1 hour. Now you have time.
Yeah.
So let's go for the. I don't know. I'm asking. You can decide on that, right? We can go for the entire paper.
Yeah. Discuss with the batch and let me know which sort of session you would like to have, and suggest a date and a time. Right.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay. So let's meet 11:40.
And also, so one more announcement for the students who are doing deep learning and neural network. So I told you. Come on, recording for of the boss.
Shall I start or home? Aruka. ආරුණ කැන්ටින් එකේ හිටියා මොන්ද මේ මේගොල්ලෝ කැන්ටින් එකේ තිරනේ මේ සෙට් එකනේ කැන්ටින් එකේ okay. Right. So I will. Shall I start this talk? What? So how many of you are here using Sotero? Recently, can today morning, ne? Today morning, then. Okay. Anita? No. What is the mechanism you use for Mendeley? Okay. Tilne has used Mendeley, ne? So what are the features that is there in the Mendeley which is not in Sotero? If you have this one, you can share your screen as well. That's fine. If you want to share the screen in the Zoom, you can share it. So, are you logged in? How's it then? Anyone else using Mendeley? You can share the. Anyone who is online, anyone who is online using Mendeley? Idea is the sharing your experience here. What are the advantages you have in Mendeley which is not in Sotero? කොහොමද ගන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ? Now, Sotara, there is a easy mathematical may know the may personally matakua, there is a extension in browser. You are using it. Yeah. Yeah, there is extension where I'll show it. Thanks to Mohad. DUI. What else you have? Deep text in the gun. Referencing, you can refer when you're writing an article or a paper. Can you link it with the main? They should be able to. Anyone who is online until they are logging into the Zoom session, anyone who is online that who is using Mendeley? But better to use some reference management tool, right? Otherwise, it will be difficult to maintain them, right? So you can see, and because see, when we are not doing a research continuously, right? Sometimes it will be disturbed by many others. So then you can start it again when you are using this one. So I'm not sure. I am finding that option where whether you can do a tagging here, right? So this is, I couldn't find it here. You can add a note, but you can't group it within the. Now, for example, if you look at this, these papers are for 4 different queries, size space queries. Now, ideally, I would like to separate them. Okay, I got this paper for this particular query, some sort of a subgrouping, which is, I feel, which is, you can have a sub collection here, right? You can do a sub collection. Sorry? Sorry. Okay, you guys are available, right? So you can do a subgrouping there as well. Then, right? So here you can. I missed that before. So you can move these into those groups as well within the main collection. You can go to the subgroupings as well. Come. Right. So during the break, Nirasha and Pasindu told me there is an easy way of getting the papers, right? So it is like there is extension. There is an extension. I haven't tried this out. Just now only I tried them. Now, for example, if you have this PDF, right? So this is the extension I just installed. So now, right? So if I do this, it will saved in the relevant collection, right? So when I do this, it is available here along with the PDF. You don't have to include DOI and everything, right? So so the Pasindu and they are using it. So right, so you can use that option as well, extension as well. No, according to them, it's for the for any right, for any, let's say, any papers here, right? So if you not sure, I haven't tried this out. Okay, web page is also there. For this also I can do that. For the web page.
Sometimes what I'm checking is whether we can access the whether we can use them to papers where we can find the PDFs or PDFs is involved.
you can, right? Paslu and Nirasha can answer that one better than me on that.
We can check for the abstract or even though we can't see that, we can cite it, but we can't get the full paper.
This one it won't get the full paper. Okay. But ideally, my recommendation is if you don't have the access to the paper, don't include in the references. That's not ethical. Well, you have not read the paper, right? I mean, you can't verify it. No one will come and but it's not ethical. I mean, for me, it's not ethical, right? Reading the, I mean, yeah. So then, right. So that is the starter part or the retrieving part. Now the next one is about where now this is my right. I use 4 queries for the papers, right? I use 4 queries for this particular thing. One is the right. So this is what you asked. Someone said internship. So there are some papers which indicates this is the Brazilian paper, if I remember correct. So this is how the skills are improved from different activities. First one is the project. Second one is internship. This is extracurricular activities, right? So you can see how the soft skills can be improved from different learning techniques. Now, what is our task? We want to look at how software development skills can be improved from project, right? So now then we can say there are other aspects as well, not only the project. There are other aspects as well. That is what we said. Someone said we need to look at other aspects. So this is what the papers are, right? So that's the one. So this is basically after reading, going through these papers, I copy paste those information to a document. So this is the another one. Now, why we do the software development? Why we want to improve software development skills? We want to make undergraduates. We want to give undergraduates real world experience, right? So I did a search on that particular query as well, right? So then these are the papers I got, and these are those summaries. The evaluation criteria, all are from papers, right? Then I had another query. What are the teaching techniques in software engineering Sri Lankan undergraduate courses? Right? So another query. I haven't gone through. I think I missed one. But whatever, these are the areas that I need to look for. Right? Now you can see how we got the areas from the generative AI tool. Now we got the areas from the generative AI tools, and then from SciSpace and other generative AI tools, we look for the papers. Correct. But still, how do we know whether we have collected all the papers? Still, we are not sure, because we went through the queries. We are not sure. There can be related papers to the papers that we identify, right? Now, for that one, we can use Research Rabbit. Now, this is something we found. In the sense, this was not discussed during the workshop, right? This tool was never discussed in the workshop. After the workshop, we had a discussion in our department just before the conference day about how do we use these tools. Then one I can't remember his name from medical faculty. He came to the discussion and he introduced us this tool to us. Right? Generative AI collaboration is very important, right? So then we got this tool. Now this tool, again a free. This is a free tool where you can link your the tool to the Zotero collection. මම දන්න විදිහට නම් මේකේ mentally support එකක් නැහැ. හරි? තියෙනවද? නැහැනේ. නැහැ. හරි? මම දන්න විදිහට නැහැ. හරි ඕනනම් බලමු අර මේකේ මම දන්න විදිහට නැහැ මේ නිරාශා කන්ෆර්ම් කරනව නැහැ කියලා. හරි? ගොඩක් තැන්වල Zotero තමයි ගොඩක් ලාට support කරන tool එක. Any reason why you use mentally? Supervisor කිව්වේ නැහැ. සතු මිස්ද? රුවන්ස mentally තමයි. Okay. රුවන්සට අහන්න පුළුවන් ඒකේ මොකක් හරි ස්පෙસિෆික් රීසන් එකක් තියෙනවද? රුවන්ස රීසන් එකක් කිව්වද නැහැ? ඒක තමයි. සර්ගෙන් මේ දැන් අරගෙන මම ඉස්සර යූස් කරා මම කියවනේ මේ වර්ඩ් එකේම තිබ්බ එක. ඒක ඊට ඇත්තටම ඒක මාර ලේසි. වර්ඩ් එකේමනේ තියෙන්නේ. මේ ඒක මම වර්ඩ් ડોකියුමන්ට් එක ඔයාට එවුවොත් ඔයාට තේ රෙෆරන්ස් එක ඔයාට හම්බ වෙනවා. දැන් මේක එහෙම නැහැ. Zotero යවුවොත් Zotero එක යවන්නේ නැහැ. අපි වෙනම යවන්න බෑ. But then when I try to use Zotero, I realize how easy it can integrate with the other tools. මෙන්න මේ හේතුව හින්දා මම Zotero එකට ගියේ. Right? I'll check with Ruansa whether there are any other benefits. ඒකින් තමයි මාරු ගන්න එපා මම කිව්වා ඒක. හරි? So here what you can do is you can import the Zotero collection to this one. හරි? අපි මේක මුලින්ම කරා මේකට අපි කරේ නේ PBL එකට අපි කරේ නෑ RBL එකට කරේ role based නැද්ද මම LinkedIn post එකක් දැම්මා මේ okay, yeah, good. Now, yeah. So, now then, right. So, okay, this is what I got. Right. Okay. Now I'll tell. Okay. Now I will. Now, what we did was we connect the Research Rabbit with Zotero. Then Research Rabbit gives us related papers to the existing papers. Right? Now, if you look at this one, these are the sharing the okay. Right? So these are my papers. These are papers that we use for our research work. Then there are 871 similar papers to these papers. But it lists only 50 papers, that's how it is. Now the green ones are the papers that I have included. Blue ones are the papers which are related to these papers, but I have not included. Right? Sandushian Dinu okay, Mampasigan. Right. So then I went through these papers, why they are missing. Okay, then before that I went through timeline. Now you look at the timeline. If you look at this timeline, you can see the papers that are missing. There are no papers that are missing which were built recently. So in that sense, I am a little bit okay. Right? But then I went through these papers, why they are missing. Right? So then I can think whether they actually should be included to my work. Right? So I can re-look at these papers and then I can add them. Right? You can simply add them here, but ideally you should not do that. You read the paper, see the relevancy, and then add to your at your work, right? So after doing this, since Dinuki and Sandushi were doing the research under me, I thought of getting their. At that time, they have completed their literature review, not full thing, but they have somewhat completed. So I thought of getting their papers, right? So then this is Sandushi's research. So these were her papers, and then I looked at the papers, right? Now she did the research using a Prisma framework, right? Prisma framework, she used the research, not from size space. Right? She said that she used Prisma framework. Now, when we look at the timeline, now there were some papers which are on 2022, right? Sandushi, if you are available, can you explain what was the reason those were not? You told me, right? What the reason they were not included in the original research?
I think because of the prompt I use here. So
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
I think, sir, because of the prompt I use here for searching my research papers, I guess. I
Right.
use deep learning and dysgraphia and all these things. But I found
So if I recall correctly, so you are looking at the deep learning papers are missing, is it? Or?
no, sir, in the blue area, the papers are not relevant to the deep learning, other statistical analysis.
Yes. Okay. Now her topic is using deep learning to identify. Sorry, I can't pronounce this name.
Dysgraphia.
Dysgraphia, right? Dysgraphia, some disease, right? So I mean, I'll tell you what I did. Once I connected this, and when I got this list, I sent to her and asked her to verify, right? Because I am not the subject expert; she's the subject expert. So then she told me all the papers which are missing are not deep learning area. Now then we had another discussion when I had a discussion with her. Her topic is deep learning, but she missed to include non-deep learning techniques, which is we should. Why? We don't know sometimes why we should use deep learning. Sometimes something else might be better than deep learning. We never know, right? We have a pre-understanding that deep learning might work, but we can't guarantee that without looking at the research papers. So there we realized she told me we have missed that particular paper. So then we refine our queries again, right? That part is not here, right? The refine part is not here. I kept this for the presentation purposes, right? So we refined them and then we improved our the literature review part again, right? So then similarly, Dinuk, right? So, but again, you have to go through all these papers and verify why they are missing, right? Sometimes it might be related just because of the author. This author has written something on that paper. Because of the author, there can be similarity. Simply because of the fact that it is listed here, you can't accept that, right? You have to go through it and accept. Sandushi, how many papers you accepted in that path from the research rabbit?
As far as I remember, sir, 32.
32 papers.
All the
Research
list of
rabbit, is it?
all the list of papers sent to me is 32, I guess, but
Okay.
I included only 8 papers or 9 papers.
Okay. Right. So I sent her the list. From here, I can get the list, right, friends? I can get the list. What are the missing papers, right? So I think I remember I can. Somehow I send the list to her. Then from here you can download, right? Then out of those 32 papers, she verified and she said only 8 papers that she need to include. Right? So Dinuki, any experience about your one? I can't remember the final outcome. Right. So if you look at this one, so this is something again not sure. So this you can see here, this particular research, 2019. There are some papers which are recent papers in 2019, right? But again, I'm not sure. We have to read through this and see whether this paper is relevant to our research. So idea is, by doing this, we should not exclude any vital research papers, right? Because remember, right now, this is the challenge you have, which we did not have in our time. We can tell any lie at the Bible, right? No one needs to there to verify, but you can't. As and when you are speaking, we can verify and we will verify, right? Wrong generation, can't help. in our case, it's not like that. We go to library, we say this is the reference, we can use it, right? So, but now you can't. You have to see whether you have missed, you have not missed. You have to verify. It's your task. Your job is to verify whether you have collected all the papers. Now, what if there is a paper which is exactly matching your title and you have not included it? It has happened in the previous, not to your level, but previous level. It has happened. And when people are presenting the case, their paper research, when we search for that particular title, it is there. It is available there. I know it happened to your previous. මේකේ වුණා නේ interim මේ proposal එකේදී වුණා. right මට මත කවුදම කියලා මතක නැහැ. වැඩේ තියෙන රුවන් සර්ගේ paper එක miss වෙලා තියෙනවා. paper එකේ තිබි රුවන් සර්. some DevOps මේ අපි search කරනකොට මේ paper එකේ title එක හම්බුණා රුවන් සර් ලියුත් එක. රුවන් සර් ඔකට කෙනෙක්. ඒක තමයි. when someone said, when she said no one has done this, ඒක නෑ හැබැයි Google search එක no generative AI search කරාම ඒක තිබුණා. Right? So therefore, you have to be very careful. You have to make sure that no papers are missing in your for your research work. Right? But now the things are a little easier with the tools. There are two sides. We are also using tools. Right? And but you need to make sure all the papers are included. Okay. Also, you can share this this as well. Now I have done this testing also with මම හිතන්නේ පස්නිත් එක මම මේ ටෙස්ටිං එක කරේ රෑ 12කුත් ගානට පස්න කරේ මේ කමක් නැහැ ඉතින් මේ this one නේ. So this one, now you can share among, right? Okay. Right, you can share this. You can share your work with others. Right, this collection, the research rabbit collection, you can share. Right, earlier I did not know. Otherwise, I shouldn't have sent the text file, the CSV file to Sanusha. I could have easily share this one so that she can add and see whether and while she is adding, I can see it as well. Now you can share this. You can make it a public collection, and you can add, you can give the necessary permissions as well. Right, you can make it read only. You can add papers. So this is possible. Right, I would just want to check this whether it is working. Right, so similarly, Sotero, there is a online the access as well. But that's something I need to verify. right? So all what you have done, right, can be included here, and also you can share this as well. මේකත් මම හිතන්නේ පස්සේ එක්ක බලලා share කරමු. Yes, right. I can share it with others. Right. This is my software collection can be shared, and my research rabbit collection can be shared. Right. So collaboration is very important. Now sometimes some researchers are in our case, or some researchers are similar, right? Similar can same area, right? So then you can share your work, right? You can share your work. දැන් ඔය last year අපි එහෙම research දෙකක් මට මතකයි similar වුණානේ. අර education දෙකක් ඔයාගේ ඒ recommend system එක තව කාගේ හරි එකක් similar වුණා. So you can use similar research paper. That is fine. That is fine. Now these tools are there to help you. Okay? Right. Is there anything that you want? That if you want, we can try it out. We have time. We can try it out. If you want, you can try out the sizes. But always remember, you have to use it. I mean, watching will not help you. Engaging will help you. Right? This try to use the how many of you are using Research Rabbit? No one. But there were 4 people who have said they are using Research Rabbit. Right. So Research Rabbit may not be a nice tool, but free tool, and you can get a lot of papers from that as well. Right. So if you look at this, right. So now, so your task is add these papers and see whether they are relevant. When you add another paper, there will be more relevance. Right. It's a continuous work. And remember, your literature review goes until the end of your project. Don't think that after interim it's over. It's not over. You get new papers. Right. So always you have to improve your literature review. Right. So therefore it's a continuous work. Okay. Right. So shall we go to Science Space and create some queries and identify some papers? So include into Zotero or Mendeley as per your preference. Then try to get to the research gate and see whether we can find new. If you want, you can try it out with your research. That's fine. No, it doesn't need to be this one. You can try out your own research. We can do this. Now you have how many? You have your now you have Mendeley. From Mendeley you can download BibTeX, right? Right. Right. You too can download BibTeX from Mendeley, and you can import it to the Zotero. Right? Then you can link the Research Rabbit to the Zotero and see what are the missing papers. Right. So others, where is your references now? Publish on page can. Then hari the reference list එක කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? දැන් reference list එක කොහෙද තියෙනවද? References list එක. නෑ කොහේ හරි තියෙනවනේ මම දන්නවා. අතේ තියන් ඉන්නේ නැහැ ඔයා. මේ කොහේ හරි තියෙනවනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ download කරන්න පුළුවන් දැන්. මොකෙද තියෙනවද? හරි දෙයිනේ ලැප් එකේ document එකකද file එකකද PDF එකකද? ඒ ටික තියෙනවනේ. So you can get this into a BibTeX. හරි BibTeX එක generate කරන්න වෙයි හැබැයි. පොඩ බැලුණා හරි තියෙන්නේ. කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ නම් Mendeley යට නම් BibTeX download කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ. හරි. So then they don't have an issue. You have to convert your one into a BibTeX. For people who are online, so what we are going to do is a small task. task for your own research. For your own research, we are trying to so download the. If you have Zotero, you are fine. If you have Zotero, it's a matter of connecting to the research Rabbit and see whether you have identified that there are any missing papers. I would like to hear from you. Number one, if you don't have a Zotero, then if you have Mendeley, you can download the BibTeX and upload it to the Zotero. Then go through the research Rabbit part. If you don't have Zotero or Mendeley, get the references, copy the references, paste into Gemini, and ask to generate the BibTeX. Copy it, upload it to the Zotero, then again go through that path. If any issues, let me know. I can I can allow you to share. You can share your screen. Right? It's sharing is given. I'm just leaving from the desk, but I'm here. I'm saying this for the people who are online. Just shout it. I'll be here. In the online one, you got upload PDF. In the online one, you got upload PDF. It won't take much time. So you can so we can see one person. So he has shown. Now only he has started the. Yeah, so it won't take much time. Just install this. Just link to the socket, right? Just go to the papers and see what are the writing papers there are. Then right. Good thing, madam. But the issue when you don't have DOI, if you don't have proper DOI in the Zotero, it won't allow you to input. Oh, right. So you can unwire DOI na field. They are in the DOI. अरे यार मैं मैच कर रहा है मैच कर रहा है ओ यार नेटफ्लिक्स So this one is a different issue. This one is no collection. Actually, on the collection, the DUI PDF എന്താ PDF ആണ് PDF എന്താ PDF എന്താ PDF അത് അതാണ് Now, and so we found a paper which is don't know whether it is missing or not, we are not sure. But it shows very in sort of a latest stage. Right? Now we want to find out whether it's a relevant or not. The abstract value, according to her, it's not relevant, but we are not sure. Now what we can do is you can upload this PDF to SciSpace. And in SciSpace, there is an option. Right? There is option in SciSpace chat with PDF. Right? So here you can upload the paper. Chat with PDF, upload the paper, then you verify whether it's relevant to you. You know the question that you need to ask. What are the value? No code. Ne? Okay. What is there any no code information in this paper? You can interrogate the paper. Right? Then there are no never ending process. Right? Never ending process. You can improve your research methods like that. So people who are online, any questions, anything, any issues? I would like to hear from you regarding the Research Rabbit findings. whether they are relevant. Right. So ඇත්තටම මේ අපි ඊළඟ දවසේ කොහොමද ලියන්නේ කොහොමද දැන් මේකට තව papers වාගේ නැතයි. Again, as we said, again I'm reiterating the fact these are our findings, right? Over the last 6 months, right? Last 5 or 4 months, these are our findings, right? We learned that from you, and some self-study. Again, this might not be the correct path itself. What are you doing? I'm not getting about the next step. What are you doing? You're not going to right? But there can be many other ways of doing it. But we are welcome your comments so that we can improve on it. Right? This is not a thing, this is a journey. And this is a journey. काम में अत्र में दिल्ली में ये कदा करा हम लोग काफी मिलने डिपार्टमेंट तो ओपन करे हैं है काम अभी क्या है उसके बाद एक काम है काम अभी करना जानता है मैं सब कर इलाके में काम करने के साथ में मैंने कुछ किया उनका इनसे साथ में मैं सब करा दिया अरे जिम्मेदारी क्या So, but we would like to take that the information from you. This is the second day workshop we are doing after the first one totally online one. So you would like to learn. So we have the next one another few weeks. People who are online, but physical more effective because you can learn from others as well. But mandana online කොහොමද කියන්නේ මම දන්නේ මේ මොකද උනේ මේ පේපර් අප්ලෝඩ් කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඔව් මොකද කිව්වේ අර මගේ පේෂන්ට් එක ඔව් අයි ඔයාලගේ රිසර්ච් එක මොකක්ද ඒක ඕකෝ patient sometimes. I don't really understand what's wrong with that. Simply this problem with the I have been trial for them. I don't know. So she has found the research, which of Pratya is original references, she got it from the research. Right? So that's what the target is. So for the people who are online, this is something I also miss. It might not sync right away, or it might need some time, but there is a option to sync them, right? So you have to click this, right? You have to sync this. Every hour sync වෙන. Last 50 minutes එක එක sync එක time එකක් තියෙනවා. එනකොට හදපු ගමන් sync වෙන්නේ නැහැ. It may take some time, but if you want to sync it, you have to click this. Okay, people who are online, all good? Huh? කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. favor කරන්න දෙනවා නේද? දුර කතර ගෙවාගෙන ආවමනේ. And they are in the luxury, they can sleep. But they don't have that luxury. They have to be here in whatever set order. Right. Shall we conclude? Hope you learn something. Yeah. So, and hope this will help you to improve your research. That's the whole idea, right? We want to build the quality research out of this, and this our department and our unit. That's the whole target, right? And also, you need to know that we also know about these tools now, right? ඒක තමයි message එක. right? මේක ඉන්න අපේ online උත් හිටියා. චලනවිස්සේ මම දැක්ක ඉන්න. So they also know about how to use these tools now, right? Okay, forget about those things. Ultimately, what we want to, and today what we did was identify how to do a proper literature review. Now we identified, I don't know about others. Now we will be sending you a questionnaire. I don't think till අදවල හරියන්නේ නැහැ. Missing papers ටික ඔක්කොම identify කරේ නැහැ. ඒකින්ද අපි සත්‍ය missing papers ටික පොඩ්ඩක් identify කරලා පොඩ්ඩක් තියාගන්න. මට ඇත්තටම ගන්න ඕන ඒකේ පොඩි count එකක්. කොච්චර missing papers ඔයගොල්ලෝ identify කරාද මේකෙන් කියලා. Will leave you around another 1 week time, right? We'll be sending you many surveys because we have started many research now. මේ අර මෙල්බන් එකටත් ළඟදී මේකක් එයි. ඒක නම් ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි. තමයි තාරුකල හැම මම හිතන්නේ සාම්පල් ඩාන්ස් කරානේ. තාරුකට අහුණා එකෙන් තිල් නිමිස් කොහොමද ජෙනරේටිව් AI යූස් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ කියලා. අහුණානේ. relevant නැති question එකක් තිබ්බනේ මොනවාද answer එකක් තිබ්බනේ. Gemini කියන එන ෆොටෝ එක වැටලා තිබ්බා මේකේ. තාරුට එක අහුණා තාරුකට. So we'll be sending that survey. Oh, I think this is not relevant කියලා එක අර කියන්න බැරි හින්දා මුන්ට. එහෙම කියලා නේ. යන්න ඇති. මුන් අපිට කොට මුනුත් කරන්න මෙහෙමයි. But we'll be sending that survey anyway for the Melbourne, for the people who are in the Melbourne team, and we have done that. We want to do that research as well. How project-based work improve the learnings, right? Okay. Any other questions? Anything you want to clarify? Any comments you want to make? Any comments? Nothing. වැඩක්ම නැහැ හැබැයි. AI හොඳ comments නම් ඕනේ නැහැ. Anything you want to say to improve or whatever? So now next time, after 3 weeks time, so if you want to do this during the vacation, we are fine, right? I don't know, it's up to you about the writing part. how to write your paper. So let us know, right? So when you're coming for the next time, bring your all the documents with you. Now you know how to write. You prefer Sotera mentally? What's your preference? Sotera? No, nothing. Okay. Okay. Sotera will work. And then yeah. So your prerequisite only Sotera, ne? Nothing else. Okay. So better if you have a already written paper, bring that as well. So you are going to write the 3-chapter paper in the class. Come on, it's helpful for you, right? Ideally, it would be better if we can have this physically. ඔයාලා දැන් උනත් තේරෙන්නේ නැතිනේ. අපි මෙතන ගියාම interaction වැඩි online වලට වැඩි. Again, the better if we can have it physically, but doesn't matter. We'll open it for online as well. Okay. Okay then. People who are online, any questions? Anything? Any questions? Damindu, Sandushi. Okay. Again, please. Yeah, Sandushi, you want to say something?
Yes, no problem.
Okay. Right. So please list out the papers that you found from Research Rabbit, which is relevant to your research. That is something I'm looking at. I'm looking at those numbers, right? I want to see how many papers you've got from the Research Rabbit, which was not there in your initial literature review. Okay. Okay. Shall we conclude? Okay. Okay. Sorry.